Welcome everyone to the Business Modeling Bootcamp session number 4. So today we're going to have an amazing session and I need full attention because the concept that I'm going to introduce today is difficult. And if you're not paying attention, then it's going to be just difficult for you to understand this term of jobs in the context of this methodology, okay? So before we start with today's PowerPoint, I would like to go over the room and ask how did you do with your business model canvas? Diane and I met this morning. We have 1 hour session. So tell me about your experience, Diane.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? My experience was actually really good. I'm dealing with an issue is that I have a really good idea, value proposition that is really good if you are in the industry and you know exactly what I'm talking about. When it comes down to explain it to the masses or people that are maybe not as technical or not familiar with the industry, is obviously a big issue. So working with Connie, I was able to simplify the process dramatically. And now I can actually see a viable path. So if you don't mind, I can share my screen just to see how it was before that and after.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, let me know when you're seeing my screen.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so for those of you, probably you remember, my idea is it could be pretty big, but in a nutshell, what it is many companies in the manufacturing space, when they want to do some sort of improvements, they realize that it's difficult for them to do it because of time, resources, etc. So they hire consultants. And these consultants usually come in and they charge a lot of money. They waste a lot of time. I mean, this is a 6 months to 12-month process. And once they leave, not only have they charged you a lot of money, but you realize that you didn't improve that much. So obviously that's a big issue. Not a really big issue for the consulting companies because they're always making money, but it is a big issue for you. So my goal was to, with a prototype that I have created, to enable that consulting experience to the masses by changing that consulting person from a human to an actual artificial intelligence consultant that you can have at the hand, very easily from your phone or from your computer at all times. And that's basically the premise. You have a consultant that is going to guide you step by step whenever you need him. This particular software is learning as they go. So the insights that it's giving you, they're always getting better because it's learning from the feedback that you're giving them. Anyways, as you can tell, this is my canvas. So
before, that was your before canvas. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna kind of guide you. Okay, that was your before canvas. Okay.
Yeah, and as a good engineer that I am, even though I haven't done it in a while, I am really good at overcomplicating things. So I put every single idea that I could have, from the value proposition of a 24/7 consultant that is always learning, that is always there, all the way as to how am I going to keep you engaged, what my type of customers are, which, as you can tell, I added way too many, to a very complicated channel model for distribution. Maybe the revenue streams are okay, but when it came down to the key resources and key activities, once again, it's just too much for an initial takeoff process. So I met with Connie, and after the meeting today, the first thing that we understood is that number one, it's still very difficult for somebody that is not from the industry to get it. So we wanted to make sure that the value proposition is presented in a way that is easy to understand. Going from all the different features that I mentioned in very technical terms to, our value proposition is we want to change manufacturing utilizing artificial intelligence. as far as the customer relationships, the way these
hold on. Okay, Diane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm using your presentation to guide everybody. Start with your value proposition and go to your customer segment. If you go to talk about channels, customer, then you're gonna complicate your life. You know, just kind of start always with value proposition, then who are your customers? And stick to the point. Don't go over all the general picture. Just remember what I told you this morning. Keep it simple. Kind of.
Got it.
Let's start again. What's your value proposition?
Yeah, so the value proposition is to change the current manufacturing processes environment utilizing artificial intelligence. The customer segment, is going to be the software developers that are actually in charge of the manufacturing processes.
Perfect.
Very simple.
Revenue.
Then the next step is
revenue.
The next step is the revenue. Yeah. So 3 ways that we're going to be making money. Number 1, custom projects, custom implementations for clients. After that, once we get it hooked, we're going to do a subscription-based model, software as a service, for many years. But also, this is really good tech, and many companies are realizing that they don't have the time to create something like this. So we are going to also white label this technology to them.
Channels.
The next step is channels. Channels,
yes.
Yeah. As far as channels, in the very beginning, it's going to be internal sales, the website, and leveraging software resellers to create an actual channel.
Perfect. Customer relationships.
For the customer relationship, especially in the very beginning, when we need to get a lot of information, we're going to create a community for developers to come in and share ideas, which those ideas are going to be collected and fed back into the tool.
Good. And Diane, these developers that are in charge of manufacturing facility process, you know, always narrow it even more, because that's what you need to do your customer discovery. You know, they have to be in manufacturing facilities, so they will be able to give you feedback and help you to validate your hypothesis. Okay. Okay. Remember, business model canvas. This is a set of hypotheses. You know, what you're putting there is something that you think your end users need, but at the end, the end users are going to tell you, yes, I need that. And the end users might come out with some solutions. And then you're going to extract that knowledge and put it into a business model that's going to help you to launch this company, and a company that is going to be profitable. Okay, good job so far with the left part of the canvas. Now let's go to the right, which is the backstage of the company. And when you do that, let's start with key resource. So what is it you need to have in place in order to move forward this idea right now? What do you need to do?
Yeah, so number 1, implement the ideas to make sure that they work. So multiple pilot programs with clients in the manufacturing space. At the same time, I mentioned I have some patents, so I had to make sure that that IP is protected, and also working on the brand.
Perfect. Now, like key activities, like things to do now.
Yeah, so right now is number 1, validate the idea and the actual process. So create these groups with software developers that are in charge of manufacturing processes to obtain that information. And based on that, develop the MVP.
Good job. Now, who are your key partners? Who do you think you need at this point?
Yeah, at this point, the key partners are going to be the software developers in charge of the manufacturing processes.
Perfect. That's it. These manufacturing facilities that are going to help you to validate your hypothesis. Perfect. Cost structure. What are you going to be expanding on?
Well, expand the software, so software development, marketing and branding. And as it gets bigger, it requires a lot of compute power. So the infrastructure for that compute power.
Beautiful. That's it. And then you finish. Okay, everybody, I want to ask your opinion. You saw the speech last class and you see now this. Tell me what you think. I want to open the session to everybody, to the attendees. What do you think?
I understand it now.
Yeah, me too. Before I was lost and now I'm like, oh, okay, that's what he's doing. Yeah, big, it's like it's coming together. Yeah.
More streamlined. Yes, definitely.
Beautiful, yes.
Yeah, I think it's easy to understand. I think it's easy to understand, and also it's better. It's a better picture of the moment that is in the company right now. Like we're focusing on this right now. So as soon as we pass this phase, things are going to change over here. With the feedback that we're going to get, everything's going to change. So basically, it's like a map or a bigger picture of what his moment is right now. It's very, very clear.
Yes, Marcus, and you are right on the money. Thank you for saying that, because remember when I show you a slide with how many canvas do you need to be doing? You have to be doing a lot. And you're right on the money. This is your first canvas. It's just to kind of put together your pitch to your end users right now. This is the first one. And then once you get these interviews done, you're gonna come back and take all the knowledge and put it in the new canvas. Based on the questions I asked my end users, these were my findings, and that's how my business model is evolving. And it will evolve. Then you develop your MVP, minimum viable product, which is something you can show them. I don't want you to build the software now, but remember when I told you can build mockups, you can build a PowerPoint, you can build something they can see, but it's not the investment of $50,000 or $100,000 in a software. No, just like okay, so this is how it's gonna look. Then you go back to people who interview and they were like, oh my gosh, I love it. And if you don't have money, you can use that PowerPoint and mockups or whatever you build here to raise money from investors. And the interviews you're going to be doing are going to help you to pitch your idea to investors. I interview 100 software developers that are in charge of manufacturing facilities, and most of 80% of these people have the same problem and they want the solution. And if I go back to them, they're going to buy from us. So I need money to build this avatar of the artificial intelligence, and this is how much, this is the money I need. And then you come out with your startup cost. And little by little, you will be creating what our investors are looking for, okay? And that's what we are gonna be doing in this class. And yes, Marcus, this is just the beginning, just what we need now. Perfect.
I see like it's like taking in slices. You get the first slice of the business. You have to validate this portion of it. Is everything being validated? If everything is validated, then you start adding new stuff as you progress and you keep on validating. It makes a lot more sense. We redid our map or canvas, but we put a lot of stuff in there still. I think we need to improve a lot on our side.
And I'm willing to meet you, Marcus. Like 1 hour session will be enough just to get to this simplicity that you're looking now with the young business idea. Always keep it simple, simple, simple.
And I'm sorry to say, we actually found more stuff to do. So,
okay, you know what? You're gonna love today's class, because today's class speaks to engineers. Because I have the same problem with many entrepreneurs who are engineers or who are very technical. They have the same problem. Is they have these amazing ideas because the way they're wired is just they have this bright mind. The brain is just wired differently. But when it comes to taking those ideas to market, they're all kind of a struggle because they have too much information and they don't know how to keep it simple. And that's why we're here, to help you to kind of have all this amazing knowledge and kind of narrow to something you can monetize. Okay. and later you will become millionaire, and then you will call me and say, and then that's success for me. Okay,
May I offer
good.
some feedback on this as well?
Oh yeah, it's I didn't know you were with us.
No, sorry,
Hi.
I did jump in a little late, and
Oh, and you
kind
know
of-
what?
kind of-
Last class, Diane was presented his first canvas.
yes, and I
yeah.
did catch the tail end of the last class, so I did see the difference between Diane's last canvas and this one, and big difference. Kudos on the revisions. And so what I want to say at this point is it's a much greater improvement. And I think that you're still quite broad. And I'll give you 3 examples, right? One is the value proposition. That's a great statement there, but if you read it closely, there's no value proposition in there, right? There's manufacturing's already being done with artificial intelligence. I'm sure you have some innovation in there. This doesn't really capture what that value proposition is. Okay, do you get that?
Got it.
Great. And then, for example, when you look at key resources, protect your IP. So can you get more detail, even, you know, at this point in time? Do you have an inkling that you're going to be patenting, or that you know, what sort of intellectual property protection are you going to be moving towards? I think you can get a little bit more specific right now. And then
okay, got it.
Okay, and then the other one is that I don't see a match between your value proposition and your customer segment, and you want to tie those in as best as you can, right? So what's the value proposition for your target market of software developers? Right, so think of it that way. And then the other thing is manufacturing process seems very broad to me still. There's so many different types of manufacturing companies. So do you have some specific types of manufacturing companies or industries in mind? I think that would also help you as you organize what your customer discovery process is going to be like, to narrow it down even a little bit better.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Makes sense.
Okay, super.
Just to add some comments on that, we already covered all of that in our private session, and but it's a lot still, so we have to keep it simple. And yes, he's going after the automobile manufacturing because he has contacts in that industry. So, but you know, as Marcus said, this is a very rough canvas. It's the first one. And the idea is to have the hypothesis and to have the customer segment. And then once you have that, today class, you're going to understand how to articulate the value you're creating for your customers. And based on that, you're going to start doing some customer discovery. So this canvas is not the last one. This is just the first one. And it will be evolving, okay? So once you get the interviews done, then the value proposition is going to be changing. Customer segments are going to be changing. Everything is going to be changing and evolving. Okay, so at this point, as I mentioned before, we don't expect perfection. So, but we're getting in there. Thanks for the comments, Esther.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
So, yes, so, okay, now we are going to hear Sasha's business model.
Sure. So, like I said, I'm not able to pull up the canvas for you guys to get access to it right now, but I'll just go over what's on there based off of, you know, the structure. So, value proposition. The value proposition is to provide a resource for families that have elderly seniors at home that are looking for whether it's temporary or permanent care. Families that have seniors that are specializing in Alzheimer's and dementia, or who have Alzheimer's or dementia. my customer relationships is creating a community. I'll probably be using a lot of digital social media for that, to offer values like question and answers about how to assist family members that are battling with dementia, how-tos. So I think that's the first thing we're going to do in order to start building a group of people that are interested in our product and service. Our customer segment are families that are in need of figuring out how to live life and still care for their loved ones. The channels that we're going to be using will be social media channels and website and an app. So I don't know, does the app count as a channel or yeah, right?
Yeah. An app
Okay.
is a channel.
Great. Yeah, I thought so. And then the revenue stream, we are going to be using the funds currently because, of course, all of this is in the incubation phase. And my mom, who's actually the owner, she's not really a huge fan of investors. So more than likely we'll be using our revenue stream right now is coming from the properties that actually provide adult living facilities right now that we have. And any other investments that we have, that's where our revenue stream is going to be coming from at this point in the process. Our key resources is definitely number one, the building of the brand. So getting people familiarized with the brand by knowing what we're offering, by giving them something that they need. So the how-tos, how to deal with, mom when she no longer recognizes you, or how to deal with dad when he has emotions that are getting out of control and you got to reel him back in because he's suffering with Alzheimer's or dementia. Also looking into making sure that we have all the copyrights and all the trademarks that we need to protect our brand, and utilizing a graphic designer that we work with to make the general look of the app and its intended functionalities. Do I go to the key partners then at that point? Mm-hmm. Or key activity? Okay. Yes. Key partners will be building. On the other side, we'll also be building relationships with adult living facilities, because what we want to provide, we're niching down to folks that are not looking for the traditional nursing home feel or hospital feel. We're looking specifically for families that want their parents or loved ones to be in homes. So it's reminiscent of where they live now. So we will be building relationships with other adult living facilities that are providing the home-like feel, and that specialize as well in dealing with folks that have Alzheimer's and dementia, and who are willing to provide temporary or permanent care. The key activities is consistently building relationships with this particular community, offering whatever additional training or resources that we need to develop to allow it to work. And also doing market research, a lot of market research and customer discovery regarding the direct need and what exactly our customers are really looking for overall.
Okay, time is up. Session.
I'm sorry?
Time is up. So,
okay.
So what I think the only part left is how the cost, or
yeah, the cost structure.
Okay, what's the cost structure?
We're thinking probably 15%. We're probably looking at charging the customers that are utilizing the platform 15% for the service, and the facilities that are on the platform 15%. So
okay,
I
so
haven't gone too far than that.
It's okay. So
but
what you just say is your revenue streams. That's
okay.
How you're gonna make money.
Yeah.
Yes, and that will be a double side revenue stream. If you're gonna kind of follow the Airbnb business model, yes. You have the nursing home, the host, and then the families with the loved ones that need a place. And then you will be making 15% per transaction per each of your customer segments. That's kind of the Airbnb
Yes.
business model. Yes. And then
Except
the
for
cost,
if it's, sorry.
in the cost, if you follow the Airbnb business model, it's a lot of marketing, operations, a website, all of that.
Yeah,
Kind
well,
of look,
the-
go ahead.
right. And the good thing is for my personal business, outside of my family business, I own a brand management firm. So we do all the marketing. We do website development, brand management, strategy design, all of that. So that should cut a lot of that cost. And I have my own graphic designers. I don't have an app developer. So I imagine that's going to be the most costliest part of, that part of the process.
Perfect. I'm glad you have the
Yay. I know you
design.
helped me, Connie. So thank you.
You're welcome. And it was good you called after the last class. So the questions were very good, actually. Beautiful.
Sasha,
Okay. Next time, would
Esther?
you next time would you please put all this on the canvas and kind of present it next time?
Yes, I'll have it. Yeah.
Will be easier. Okay, Esther.
Yeah, just one question. Everything seems pretty cohesive there. My question is around the revenue streams. So customers and providers pay 15% of what?
Of the cost for the day. So this is only for, because they're going to be two different revenue streams. The one is going to be for temporary care. So, if it's going to be daily, whatever the daily cost is, to utilize the app, to be on the platform itself, the fee that we're going to be charging our client is 15%. I'm trying to figure out, we're going to add a 15% fee to the customer when they're booking
Sasha, can I help you on this one?
Please.
Remember, remember I told you, follow the Airbnb case study.
Right.
Because what you want to do is you're going to put in your platform like a place for nursing homes to advertise their spare space rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then your end users, who are people looking for a place to put their loved ones, right? So you have those two, the homeowners, so the nursing homeowners, and the patients.
Right.
And then how you're gonna be making money is you're gonna charge 15% to the nursing home owners for putting their nursing homes in your portal. And then you're gonna charge 15% to the families looking for a place just because they found a place on your portal. That's per transaction.
Right. Yes.
Just kind of follow the Airbnb business model.
Right. The only thing that will differ is when someone's looking for permanent placement, which will be probably because we've seen it before when we use other placement agencies. They usually charge anywhere from 1 month normal fee. So if monthly, it's $4,000 for the person. So it would be, sometimes they charge up to 150%. So it'd be either 4,000 or
but that's if they stay in your facilities. So that's
if they're picking a place permanently. So if it's something that they've made a permanent transaction, the only time, it's a one-time fee that the nursing home provider is going to pay us for like $4,000 for what their 1 month cost would be or whatever. And then going forward, they don't pay anything else, for that particular client.
Okay.
I would also think that in your cost structure, insurance would be a big line item, maybe legal protection.
Yeah, we definitely need, because we don't want to have to, we don't want any liabilities outside of, just providing the resource. So, just like any other agency, when we use agencies to book, to get a place for mom is a huge agency that does the permanent home deal. And they don't they're not liable for the client once the client has moved in. So I guess all of that needs to be in the legal jargon prior
Yes,
to, right?
that's in,
Okay.
when you put this in the canvas, that's operational cost. And for everybody, when you put this operational cost, you need to go back to your numbers, and operational cost is every single item that you need to pay to make this company a possibility. And that's what we call the startup cost if you're starting a company, or if you are already in business, is your operational cost. And your accountant can tell you exactly what insurance, attorneys, consultants, loose electricity, rents, all of that. If you don't have that, I can share with you a list of operational costs for any given startup.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta tidy that up.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that this kind of like a leader, like would they remember the canvas is a very general picture of your business model. You know, I don't want you to be very detailed, you know, marketing cost, operational cost, and that's it. And then whenever you go to the financial, whenever you have your business plan or your set of financials, then operational costs are this, marketing costs are this, you know, because if we kind of put everything there, it's gonna be, you're gonna be confused. Okay, any questions
Thank
before
you.
we move to today's class? Okay, good. So if I don't have any questions, let's move to today's presentation. Mhm. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so far you have learned how to do your business model canvas. And please continue watching the videos about this so you will get better and better. So the business model canvas tells the story of how you are going to create, deliver, and capture value for your organization. So this is the general business model for your organization. Now I'm going to introduce to you the value proposition canvas, which is another canvas we're going to work, which focus only on the value proposition and the customer segment. And that canvas tells the story of how you are creating value for your customers. It's two different canvases. I'm going to upload the value proposition canvas after the class. And now we're going to spend at least 3 classes speaking only about these 2 guides here, especially your customers. Because whenever you go to your customers, you need to know how to kind of deliver your business idea. So why do you need to have a better way to tell the story of how you create value for your customers? Anybody want to answer the question?
To make sure we're actually creating value for the customers and not just living in our heads.
Yes,
Yeah.
and go ahead, who's saying?
I would say you have to get them engaged.
Exactly, yes. You know, when you are in front of your customers, you need to have them engaged. You need to have them intrigued or waiting for more, or you need to get their commitment when it comes to helping you to validate your concepts, okay? So I'm going to present a video that kind of explains why it's very difficult sometimes for engineers or rocket scientists to explain their ideas to investors or future customers. So if just tell me when I start, if you can hear the video, because sometimes I have problems with my sound. Okay, next, the video.
Hey, I've got a great
Can you
idea
hear?
for a business.
That's exciting. Tell me about it.
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
Huh. That's a little confusing. Can you dumb it down for me?
Sure. What I do is I take a proprietary isomer that I developed with a picric acid wash that hollows out the carbon bonds and replaces them with a nanotube wrapping.
Okay, so I guess it's pretty technical.
Oh yeah. I've been working on this isomer for 9 years.
So what's the business idea?
To sell it,
To who?
everybody will want one,
What for?
so they can wrap their volatile organic compounds in carbon nanotubes.
I think you might need a target customer. I don't think I need to wrap my compounds in your nanotube.
Well, maybe not you.
So, for people who buy it, what's the value you are providing them?
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
You've said that already. This is getting annoying. Why should anyone care about your isomer?
I spent 9 years on this.
I know that. Okay, pretend I'm an investor. How can I make money off your product?
By selling it.
You're a smart guy, but try not to think like a scientist. Think like a business person.
Okay. Value chain. Term sheet.
I have to go now and answer that.
That's not your phone.
I know.
That's just kind of a video that explains, why we need to kind of keep it simple so you can have more engagement from your end users. Okay, going back to the value proposition canvas. We're gonna kind of start learning the definition. So as I mentioned before, we're going to work on value proposition. What is it you have that is so amazing that your end users are going to pay you money? And then we're going to focus on your customer segments. So a value proposition describes the benefits customers can expect from a bundle of products and services. So always, please put yourself in your customer's shoes. Always just think about your end users. And it's always good to think like why you come out with this idea. And I believe many of you come out with this idea because you discovered a problem in your industry and you have a solution that can solve the problem, or maybe it's just a hypothesis. So the concept that I'm going to introduce today, and please, I need your full attention because I don't want you guys to get lost. The concept is jobs to be done. I'm not talking about jobs you're going to create in this company. In this context of the business small canvas methodology, jobs to be done is what is it the job of your product or service that people or your end users are going to hire. See, it's like a new product is a job. Your end users are going to hire service or product, okay? So this is a quote from Tony Ulrich. This is the founder of the strategy. The focus should be on what jobs customers are trying to get done. He said, what is it that customers are trying to solve? And again, the definition of jobs in this methodology is what a customer is trying to get done. It could be the task they're trying to perform and complete, the problems they're trying to solve, or the needs they're trying to satisfy. That's it. It's a
When we talk
video.
about getting customer insights, the focus isn't on asking customers, what product do you want? The focus should be on asking them, what job are you trying to get done? Are you trying to pass on life lessons to children? Are you trying to cut the lawn? Are you trying to entertain house guests? Those are all different activities that people are trying to perform that they may want to hire different products to perform. And whether there's a product in that market space or not, we can analyze that job, break it down step by step, and figure out what people are trying to do and figure out how they measure success along the way. From our work, we know that for any given job, there may be between 50 and 150 different needs that customers are trying to satisfy as they get that job done. So these are the metrics that they use to measure success, and all this is knowable upfront. So it's not a matter of guessing anymore. If we know that we're studying these jobs, instead of asking customers, what do you think of this product, and to help create the product side, we can get the insights we need from customers. With those metrics in place, then the inventors can think through different ideas, fine-tune them without going back to customers, because they already have the criteria that the customers are using to measure success. So once they know those metrics, they can keep testing it against this customer scorecard until they come up with a great solution.
Okay, another definition of jobs to be done from Clyde Christensen. Unfortunately, he died a couple of years ago. Big loss for the entrepreneurial community around the world. He was a professor of the Harvard University Entrepreneurship Program. And I'm going to show you a video in which he explains this concept of jobs to be done in the context of the business model canvas.
Hi, my name's Clay Christensen. I'm a professor at the Harvard Business School. I brought with me a set of puzzles, all related to innovation. We decided that the way we teach marketing is at the core of what makes motivation difficult to achieve. The most helpful way we've thought of it so far is that we actually hire products to do things for us. And understanding what job we have to do in our lives for which we would hire a product is really the key to cracking this problem of motivating customers to buy what we're offering. So I wanted just to tell you a story about a project we did for one of the big fast food restaurants. They were trying to goose up the sales of their milkshakes. They had just studied this problem up the gazoo. They brought in customers who fit the profile of the quintessential milkshake consumer. And they'd give them samples and ask, could you tell us how we can improve our milkshakes so you'd buy more of them? Do you want it chocolatey or cheaper, chunky or chewier? They get very clear feedback. They would then improve the milkshake on those dimensions, and it had no impact on sales or profits whatsoever. So one of our colleagues went in with a different question on his mind, and that was, I wonder what job arises in people's lives that cause them to come to this restaurant to hire a milkshake. So we stood in a restaurant for 18 hours one day and just took very careful data. What time did they buy these milkshakes? What were they wearing? Were they alone? Did they buy other food with it? Did they eat it in the restaurant or drive off with it? It turned out that nearly half of the milkshakes were sold before 8 o'clock in the morning. The people who bought them were always alone. It was the only thing they bought, and they all got in the car and drove off with it. So to figure out what job they were trying to hire it to do, we came back the next day and stood outside the restaurant so we could confront these folks as they left, milkshake in hand. And in language that they could understand, we essentially asked, excuse me, please, but I got to sort this puzzle out. What job were you trying to do for yourself that caused you to come here and hire that milkshake? And they'd struggle to answer, so we'd then help them by asking other questions like, well, think about the last time you were in the same situation needing to get the same job done, but you didn't come here to hire a milkshake. What did you hire? And then as we put all of their answers together, it became clear that they all had the same job to do in the morning, and that is they had a long and boring drive to work. And they just needed something to do while they drove to keep the commute interesting. One hand had to be on the wheel, but somebody had given them another hand, and there wasn't anything in it. And they just needed something to do while they drove. They weren't hungry yet, but they knew they'd be hungry by 10 o'clock, so they also wanted something that would just down there and stay for their morning. Good question. What do I hire when I do this job? You know, I've never framed the question that way before, but last Friday I hired a banana to do the job. Take my word for it, never hire bananas. They're gone in 3 minutes, you're hungry by 7:30. If you promise not to tell my wife, I probably hire donuts twice a week, but they don't do it well either. They're gone fast, they crumb all over my clothes, they get my fingers gooey. Sometimes I hire bagels, but as you know, they're so dry and tasteless. Then I have to steer the car with my knees while I'm putting jam on them, and then if the phone rings, we got a crisis. I remember I hired a Snickers bar once, but I felt so guilty I've never hired Snickers again. Let me tell you, when I come here and hire this milkshake, it is so viscous that it easily takes me 20 minutes to suck it up that thin little straw. Who cares what the ingredients are? I don't. All I know is I'm full all morning and it fits right here in my cup holder. Well, it turns out that the milkshake does the job better than any of the competitors, which in the customer's minds are not Burger King milkshakes, but it's bananas, donuts, bagels, Snickers bars, coffee, and so on. But I hope you can see how, if you understand the job, how to improve the product becomes just obvious.
Okay. Okay, good. So now your challenge is going to be, I want you guys to come up with the list of your kind of what is the job you're trying to either create or solve for your end user. So what is the end user when I am hiring your product or services? So kind of come up with a list. So it's a list jobs you have to get done when your end user hire your product. I know this concept is kind of a little bit complex. So next class, I'm gonna go deep on this, but we're gonna continue talking about this for the next 2 classes. Any questions so far? We can discuss later about this now with your products or services. Okay, I'm gonna go around the room and I'm gonna ask maybe 2 benefits of your services or products that you're gonna create for your end users. And that's kind of gonna be one of your jobs to get done for your end users, okay? So, okay, so I'm gonna start with, okay, I'm gonna start with Erin, you're here. Erin, I'm gonna go around. Okay, now that I know what you do is, so I'm an attorney and I'm gonna hire Erin's company to do, go.
Capturing photos and videos, including drone and aerial images and photography.
Beautiful. And why is gonna be you and not your competitor?
We know how to properly capture the evidence because we know it cannot be modified. And we also provide a consultation prior to going out on the scene to have a better understanding of the case so we can bring our expertise. And we also label the end product for easy referencing.
Okay, so I'm gonna hire Erin company because the evidence she provides is professional. It has visuals and has a lot of experience in the industry, and she's providing credibility, the credibility I need to make my case a success. Perfect. So you got it. You know, do you guys understand what Erin does? Any questions for her? Questions, comments? I want to hear from you and give her feedback. No comments, no questions for Erin? Is it clear?
I have a question.
I do. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. At what stage do you plan to get involved with this? I mean, are you taking the pictures immediately after something happened or go back and reconstruct it?
So that depends upon the case. On my website, I say to reach out as soon as possible, but sometimes attorneys don't get cases until a while late, quite a while later. Sometimes some cases have like a 7-year statute of limitation, depends on the type of case. So it really just depends on as soon as they contact me. And then based on that and the consultation, I can tell them, if it's a good idea to move forward or if it's no longer an option. But I mean, with a accident scene, obviously that's a little different, but usually it's just to be able to capture, it's not going to be the same incident, but it's to show the location where it happened or capture somebody with scars, but it's basically as soon as they contact me.
Mm-hmm. Any other question?
I do have a question. Is this something that insurance would cover, or is this something I would pay out on my own if I needed your services?
That's a good idea. I think insurance companies already have their own representatives who handle that kind of matter. This is more for attorneys who want to make the investment to increase, better settlements or, to provide better evidence. So it's strictly for attorneys, not really for insurance companies.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to understand. Thank you.
That's a great question.
One more thing that I do have, and I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate this with my company. Maybe when we meet one-on-one, we can further talk about it. But I have a few years of undercover investigative experience, which brings to the expertise level on how to provide the right type of images. So I'm not just showing up with the camera. I have professional photography experience as well as investigative. And I also used to work in the legal system as like a legal assistant years and years ago. So it's all these different life experiences that's created this certain type of expertise. So that's something I've been kind of figuring out how to make it more of a niche, or what we're talking about now, but how to package it correctly.
Yeah, put like words around your value proposition, like experience, professional visuals, or kind of put like all of this experience, professional, well-known in the industry, difficult cases being solved by you, and then kind of in your one pager, when you send this to the attorneys, then you kind of list like big time cases you have helped to win. Okay, and that kind of back up what is it you have so amazing in your company, they're going to hire you. See? So in your case, you're offering a service, so the attorneys are hiring your service. And then when I mentioned, could you please develop a list of jobs of your service, then now you're gonna start putting, these are the list of what we're gonna provide to the attorneys, evidence, visuals, like pictures from XY distance, aerial kind of angles or details, kind of every single thing you're gonna be doing for the attorneys. Now, it happens that you have staff and they're close to an accident, or oh, there is an accident right there, and then they're kind of, without even being called, that is starting kind of taking pictures or video or something, then maybe all the things have been cleaned, but then happens like, hey, voila, I record a video. Even though the scene is being cleaned, we record a video. We were there when it happened, so I have the evidence. And trust me, they will just, attorneys will go and get it from you, because that's what usually insurance companies don't want to pay, because, oh, we didn't see the evidence. The scene was clean. I don't know if that's the case, but I mean, would be nice to come out in the future with something like if somebody is there in the scenes and they record a video, kind of sell it to your company, and then you acquire those videos and now belongs to you, and then you can do something with that. I don't know, that's just an idea. Good, thank you, Erin. Okay, I'm going to Marty. Okay, give me at least 2 or 3 things. What is the job your company is gonna do for me? Like, let's pretend that I'm not a homeowner yet.
Okay. Our job will be when we're done with you, you will be ready to buy a home. You will have a approval to give to your lender of what you can purchase. And you will be better prepared financially to understand your financial situations and going forward to better manage them.
Okay, I'm gonna hire Marley's service to help me to be ready to buy my house. Ready with in front of the bankers.
Correct.
Okay, so now list all the jobs, like a training, financial consultation, or just kind of list everything you're gonna be doing for your end users.
Okay.
Is counseling, training, financial analysis.
You're hired.
Advising. Advising.
Yes, we'll have their one to get them approved. We will counsel them on their credit. Show them what they need to do to raise their credit scores, or how to handle derogatory credit. We will not do it for them, but we will tell them, coach them how to get this done. And then tell them the little secrets about credit that isn't made real public to people, so they'll know how to manage their credit, keep the utilization down. We will verify their income, their savings that they have to do a down payment, to handle the closing costs. They will know exactly how much house they can buy, the maximum house they can purchase, what part of their income will be put towards the purchase, and what they'll have left over for their personal spending.
And I know you're going to have another revenue stream from the...
Oh, yes, from the loan officers.
You have to do 2 lists. So one list of the jobs you're going to be done for your future homeowners. And now the list of the jobs you're going to be done for the lenders. So what is, if I'm a lender, what is I'm going to hire Ron and Mary to get the lead? What is it? What are your leads better than any other lead that I can get?
Because when we have a customer come to you, they will be approved. Their income will be verified, their savings will be verified, they'll have the money for the closing costs. It's basically takes several weeks out of their process to get a customer to, or a borrower to approved status. They will walk in the door, they will have, here, I've been approved for this much house. Ron and Marty have all my information. Let's go. The lender will have to do the appraisal, the title, insurance, and that's about it.
I see. Okay, perfect. Yes, if I'm a banker, definitely I'm gonna hire you because you're gonna do all the difficult part, which is just to see if this is a credit worthy candidate. So you're gonna get that done.
We put the puzzle pieces together.
Nice. And I bet you're gonna charge more to the lenders because that's a good lead, you know, kind of 80% approval rate or like maybe. Okay, perfect. Good job.
In the perfect world, yes.
Nice. Okay, now, Esther.
I just want to ask, are you all currently doing this for lenders?
We are, we have been processors. Currently, we are not. I do have a broker I work for as a processor, but I mean, hiring out as a loan processor, I usually have a couple different mortgage brokers I work with. Going directly to the bank is something new for us.
Okay, because my thought as I listen to what you're proposing, which sounds like it would be very valuable and streamlining for the bank's underwriting process, right? But it sounds like
yes,
you are sort of proposing to assume the role of a lender's underwriter.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, you know, if you've done any validation yet that, you know, of which types of banks would be willing to sort of outsource that role.
Actually, we have spoken with our personal banker and working with her. She's very, very excited about it. She thinks it's awesome. I have a couple other bankers that I know that I will be talking with next week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't sound like it's currently being done, so it sounds like a novel approach.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah, I know, but I know that it's so regulated and that the banks are so kind of, you know, zealous with their underwriting, their internal underwriting process. So it's real interesting to me.
We will also, I'm going to mute in a second because Ron's right behind me and wants to speak, but we will also be working with brokers, mortgage brokers. So I'm going to let Ron talk.
Okay, hi, everybody. I am a mortgage broker. I'm an active mortgage broker right now. So I am in the industry. I deal with these customers every day. And I can tell you that if somebody comes to me with all that work done, they've taken care of 80 or 90% of the work that I need to do to pre-vet them before I can get them out on the market and buying. So for me, as a broker, looking at that, if somebody came to me that way, that's a snap. I can make that loan work anytime. And so to me, that's free money. So even if I have to pay a couple of dollars for the referral, I'm going to make thousands on the other end of that as the mortgage broker. And so to me, if I pay $500 or $400 for a referral, I will change $400 for $5,000 every day.
Nice. That's what you came up with this idea, right?
It was.
I see.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, is there any comments on that before we move to Marcus and Italy?
No, I think it's really cool. Yeah.
I love it too. I used to be a banker almost for 10 years. And trust me, when we were like approving loans, it was a nightmare. Just coach them tell them no or yes, or give me this paper, another one, more backups and backups. It's just time consuming. It's difficult. Awesome, I love it. Thank you. Now we're moving to Marcus and Italo. Okay, give me two jobs. Your service is going to provide for the board of directors of communities. Remember that we already narrowed your end user, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down here that we, the job the customer's hiring us to do would be to help them manage and keep their data in the most simple way. Right. But the what would be more of a value proposition in more details would be with our platform, we'll help communities automate their management process while being a long-term repository of their data. So we want to be this long-term partner. Even if you change management or whatever happens, we will always be with you, with the community, in order so you can have the same platform always, and you can keep your data indefinitely.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So my neighborhood is gonna hire your company to keep the data, everything, emails, newsletters, minutes, everything in-house. So these management companies don't take that information with them when they leave. Very simple, I like it.
Yes.
Like right now, I would give it an example. We have at my subdivision, we have a property management that has been with this community for probably since it began, so last 6 years, I would say. And I know for a fact if they leave today, they will just hand us probably an external hard drive with an Excel sheet of records, bank records, and now how do you make sense of all that stuff, right? So I think the idea here also is be that central point of information, and that the job that will be hired to do is maintaining those records and being kind of an operating system for that community. Mm-hmm. So it goes in hand with Michael said. Mm-hmm. So.
And it's interesting because I'm on the other side of the spectrum. He's been with the management for 7 years, and I just changed 3 times this year. Yeah. And we had a company that started in February, and they left this past July. And now the new company is having a hard time to get data from the previous company in order to know what to do with the community. So it's a big issue, you know.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like every community, when they go through this process, they start like from stage 0, and you got to rebuild all that, and everything else is just some kind of record that we do have something, but it's here in the spreadsheets where you can search, but it's not really usable, let's say, at that point, because a lot of people, because the new. And the thing is, the new company usually don't go back to those unless they have a problem, right? Then you go back and try to look at it. But from that point, it's just kind of rebuilding. So I think the shorter term, way to put this here is that we strive to be that central hub operating system for communities, and kind of separating them. Not separating, but not making dependable only on the property management company.
You know what? You just mentioned something that I really like, and that could be the value proposition. I think you already have it. You are the central hub operation systems for your community. I love that. You are a central hub operation system for your community.
Yeah, the name of the company was Community OS before. That's because that was the original idea of being able to just enter the community and not being related to property management or anything like that. It's just like we're an operating system for community. That's all.
Yes.
So you install us and you're gonna have the same thing always. And another thing that really bothers me when a new management company comes in is that they always come with different processes, obviously, because it's a different company, but they always come with a different process. And sometimes the community was used to getting something prior. Now they're not getting anymore. Like you go through a different portal and that portal doesn't have the rules of the community, doesn't have the bylaw, it doesn't have information that they're looking for because this new management company is not used to doing that. And the violations are different, the documents are different. So everything changes. And I think that bothers people.
Nice, I like it.
And you can maintain even the workflow process keeps, stays the same, even though a property manager can be changed or the property management company be changed. But at the same time, those processes are already established and working, and they can be improved. But at the same time, the community doesn't have to suffer more because they replace the property manager,
I like it, very clear. Awesome. I want to go continue with the rest of the entrepreneurs. Okay, Josh and Teresa, you're next. Tell me two things. What's the job of your service for any business owners or government? What is it they're going to be hiring you for?
They'll be hiring us for creative and experiential marketing. The creative, they'll be hiring knowledgeable, quality, affordable production, creative, and event services.
Pretty clear, I like it. Any comments from anybody?
I just want to add to that. I think that when you look at what the job is, I think the job with anybody, and we can look at anyone in this group or anyone you interact with, everyone is selling something. Everyone needs to market a product or service. Many people don't have the tools or resources to do that. Everyone has an iPhone, but when you look at social media, you look at Facebook, you look at what's out there, is their message being properly told? Is their story being properly told? What is the result of what they're looking for? And really, if the result is we need to drive traffic, we need to increase attendance, we need to sell more, we need to bring additional visibility to a new company, whether you're a realtor or whether you're manufacturing a widget, we're going to provide the tools and the resources and the creative to give you what you need to take your business to the next level. And the great thing, whether we're in Daytona, Orlando, or anywhere in the US, 30 years of production and marketing experience tends to give us a little bit of leverage over others. There's always going to be somebody cheaper. There's always going to be a cousin or a nephew with a computer. But I think that 30 years of production and TV and marketing experience and knowing what the local market is, knowing what the trends are all very helpful. So I think we're not only selling a piece of content, we're selling a service.
Nice. Great.
So
any comments?
I just want to comment. I'm glad that you brought in those last elements, Josh, because to me, that's your real value proposition, right? If you talk about creative, experiential marketing, knowledgeable, quality, affordable production, everybody says that, right? We all know, marketing is a very saturated market. But those last components that you mentioned, those set you apart from all the competition out there. Yes, that 30 years experience that you have in production, TV experience, knowing the local market inside and out, having the connections that you do, that makes a huge difference. That sets you apart from any other marketing company out there. So I would make sure to focus on that and give that sort of front stage.
So is that our value proposition?
It's part of it, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a key part of it.
Okay. And how about focusing on small local and startup businesses? Would that be part of that, or is that just a moot point? I'm not quite sure how that would fall into our value proposition.
Yeah. If that's your target audience that you have settled on, that you have a real passion for, whatever reason you want to target small businesses and startups, then yes, say that that is your niche. Now, I would encourage you, knowing what I know about the challenges that marketing companies have with startup businesses and small businesses, I would encourage you to do some customer discovery around that, to just make an informed decision as to whether that's the route that you want to focus on.
Okay.
And actually, yes, I agree with Esther. Great comments, Esther. And I agree with her when it comes to kind of providing this to startups. Usually they don't have money budget for marketing. However, what I think, if you want to target small business and startups, you can say that your creative team will develop a very professional type of corporate branding and image video production, affordable for startup of small business owners. Because like, for instance, if I'm a startup, I want to have like a video, like somebody did it for $5,000. As a startup, I don't have the money. But if I have a company that says, look, I'm going to do your branding, your website, everything, and on top, I'm going to do an amazing video for this, then you have something going on there.
Right.
Like you can attract a lot of those businesses because they want to look like they invest a lot of money in marketing. But if your value proposition is affordable, is very professional, very like a corporate level look like an affordable price, great. Now, if you're not in the market to be affordable, then don't say. As Esther mentioned, I really like what Esther said, when you're doing your customer discovery, you're going to be asking those questions, and see if your target audience is willing to pay your fees.
Okay.
And the other thing I would add to that is, right, you have 30 years of valuable experience. That says a lot. You have something over so many businesses. There are few businesses that can say that in your space, right? Leverage that. That's something that would probably be of greater value to a corporate customer, a larger, mid-sized, larger company than a startup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not going to say we're going to focus solely on startups and small business. We have some larger clients, and whether that be at the university level or in the corporate space, we can play in that sandbox as well. And that's not a problem. The advantage that, we're looking at companies like Advent Health, Embry-Riddle, they can go to Orlando, they can go to Tampa or Jacksonville and pay an agency price. Our vision or our model right now is to kind of become a unique personalized agency that can compete and provide the same products and services and give companies the tools that they need to elevate their brand, get their message out there, and make them feel good about, I'm working with somebody. And that honestly, as we approached Advent Health, that was the whole thing. You guys are local, you know what we want, you know what we need, you guys understand us, we're going with you. Or we can go to Orlando and we can go with one of 20 agencies and pay 3 times the money. So there's a personalized aspect too. There's a relationship aspect. And that as we've gone through this business, you've all been to events, you've seen great events, you've seen things missing. So we kind of want to bring that experience to the masses, and whether that be an art event or whether that be a music event or a new startup, we want to give the people the tools that they need to look and feel like they are ready to compete with everyone else.
Awesome.
Okay, next. Okay, have 5 minutes. So Diane or Sasha, you ready? Give me
Yeah,
two
I can
things.
start. Yeah, I can go. The first job that my tool is getting hired for is to provide on-demand consultant for software developers. The second job is to actually provide guidance for execution on demand. But I guess the most important job is that the tool stays with you. Similar to what Marco and Italo were describing, a consultant charges you a lot of money. Once they leave, all the knowledge that they gathered by working with you for months is gone with them, and it cannot be transferred to anybody else. With this tool, all the knowledge stays there, and it keeps getting better because it keeps learning from others' interactions. That's it.
Nice.
Diane, what do you mean by on-demand consulting?
Yeah, so I am replacing a human consultant with an AI platform that takes the place of the consultant. It's like it's actually a bot, but the only difference with the regular bots that you see in websites is that this is an artificial intelligence one that learns as you interact with him or her.
Okay, I think the term on-demand does not do that justice.
Good point.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Yes.
When I heard your idea, I thought of a business that was, it worked like this. Basically, lots of people were trying, small business was trying to make advertisement on Facebook, but they didn't know how. So there was this company, one guy developed like a tool where you would just talk to a bot and you would tell him what your business is and what you wanted and what kind of campaign you want to do and what's your budget. And basically his software would like set up a whole campaign for you on Facebook and run it for you and give you feedback and results. It was like an automated process. You didn't have to understand anything about Facebook ads or anything like that. The software would do it for you. And then later down the line, this company was bought by Shopify, was acquired by Shopify for millions of dollars. The guy's a millionaire now. But as every time I hear your idea, I think about that, like something that people don't want to mess with, but basically the bot will get your input and give you a feedback of what you should do.
And Marcus, and that's what I understood this morning when I met one-to-one with Diane. He's trying to develop that for manufacturing facilities to update their processes because that's an industry that hasn't been innovated yet. So he's trying to build that for these manufacturing facilities. And then I asked him what industry. I said he's going to start with the automobile industry because he has friends on that factories that can give him feedback. Is that what you're doing, Diane? Because that's what I understood this morning.
Yeah, and so you're both correct, and obviously Marco, that's it's similar to that. The big difference is that, and I believe I know what company you're talking about. It was always a static result based on what the bot already knew. The big difference here is just that as I interact with you, I am actually learning based on the feedback that you're giving me, and I can utilize that knowledge and give it to somebody else. And that might be in the same situation that you are. And as the knowledge base continues to increase in knowledge, then obviously, the number of companies or industries that we can reach will be humongous. But yeah, you're right in the money. It's kind of similar to what I'm trying to do.
Yes, good job. Now, last but not least, Sasha.
Yes, the job that I'm creating is to provide a provide the opportunity for our family members to be able to have a vacation and take some time off, or not feel, and the other job is, or in lieu of, or instead of, the other job would be for them to be able to find a home-like fit for their family member, as opposed to putting them into the cold, surgery style like feeling of a hospital or a nursing home, a traditional nursing home setting. Does that work?
Yes, I think can be improved a little, but I understood. I mean, I like when you're saying that one of the jobs you're going to provide is just to you will be an alternative for
whenever they need a break,
home cares when they need a break, to bring their loved ones to the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha, I think that a component that's missing is the peace of mind that provides, right? Because it's one thing for me as a family caregiver to want to take some time off. It's another for me to want to take some time off, having the peace of mind that I'm leaving my loved one in a facility that will provide the level of care that my loved one is used to getting at home.
Right, exactly.
That's, yes, I agree with that, like 180%, because I mean, the reason why many people don't put their loved ones in certain places is because they have experiences. That's why they're not there. And it's in that industry, they're very, very difficult to find a good place.
So that's the number one job.
Oh yeah. Peace of mind that your loved one is gonna stay safe and comfortable in the nursing facilities we're listed in our portal or your own.
So I have a question. How do you guarantee that they're gonna go to a place that is gonna suit them?
Yeah, so what we do is we do what you call client interviews. And so we invite the folks out to, when they find a facility that they do like, they are allowed to go out and visit up to 5 of them to have, to have a one-on-one feel and have conversations with the facility owners and the team and find out about what they offer and what they do, just to see if it's a good fit. So I think it's, sometimes we have facilities and some particular clients aren't a good fit for them. So
I'm gonna help you.
Or party has the opportunity to find.
Yes, Sasha, I'm gonna help you on this a little. So Marcus, great question. And this is one of the things the Airbnb founders did at the beginning. Of course, they do further due diligence, making sure all the listings are safe. And one of the things they did now when they post their facilities, the reviews. When somebody finished in that whole house or in that apartment, they have to send reviews. So if the reviews are terrible, then Airbnb are gonna say that bye-bye, I don't want you here anymore.
Exactly, yeah, that's true too.
And that's what you need to do, Sasha, is, making sure any experience you have to have the reviews, and if reviews are bad, then I'm sorry, you're not qualified to be part of our listing, our community, because that's not our core values.
I agree.
And
I agree.
Yes, so
I agree. I do also want to go a little bit further and go ahead and add the ability for them to also connect, at one point, to have that conversation, to just make sure, because even if some people have really good reviews, maybe it might be a good facility overall, but maybe it's just not for your family member, Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I guess we have to figure that part out.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
That's definitely reviews. Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Little by little, we continue building your business model, and we're getting in there anyway. So it's 1:34. I don't want to take more of your time. Any last comments, questions? Everybody's good? Awesome. So I'm going to upload the recording today, and I'm gonna put the homework for this weekend. Now is the time for you to start kind of going to the Udacity portal and start kind of getting to know more about how to do customer discovery, because that next week is all about getting to know more the customer, and then the hypothesis, and then the action plans to go and meet with your end users. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Esther, you want to say something?
Great work, everyone. See you on Tuesday.
Next week. Okay.
Happy
Have a
Labor
great.
Thank you.
Have a great
Have a great week.
weekend.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Guys, have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right,
Thanks,
everybody.
Rob.
Take care. Bye-bye. Happy
Bye.
Labor Day.
Thank you.